Established in 2012, Global Edulink is a pioneer in online education. We've been there from the beginning. Our experience and expertise have seen us through to the next generation of students. We've been recognized for our exceptional courses and outstanding customer service. Our students, both past and present, have achieved an excellent education at Global Edulink. Our courses are extensive and learners have the opportunity to select from a wide range covering every subject in every field. Our experienced and certified tutors will provide exceptional video training and course materials. Our learners can choose the most convenient and flexible learning method to progress in their academic goals. With a plethora of materials and resources, our learners can rely on Global Edulink to go the distance in providing up-to-date training sessions. We are accredited to recognized awarding organizations who have partnered with us on this journey. Learners will be awarded professional standard qualifications from national and international awarding organizations. What are you waiting for? Join over 480,000 learners and complete your academic education at Global Edulink. Register with us and start taking courses that will give you a new skill, refresh your knowledge, or enable you to pursue a high-paying job in any industry. With the goal to empower, Global Edulink provides learners with a strong foundation to achieve immense growth and great success in the future.
Okay, so that was our little introduction video there. Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to AgilePM Foundation and Practitioner Introduction session this evening. My name's Natalie, I'll be your webinar moderator this evening. So if you have any questions throughout, please do pop them in the Q&A box. That makes it a little bit easier to monitor as opposed to the chat function. Or if you have some general comments and everything, you can pop that in the chat box. That is absolutely fine as well, as our learners do like to comment throughout, which is nice. We like to have some interactive sessions, and we haven't done an Agile session for a while, an Agile webinar. So yeah, really excited to be here this evening. And yes, I'll crack on. If you can't hear me at any point, also type in the chat, or if you're having any difficulties, just let us know. Thank you. Okay, so today, here is our agenda, what we have in store. We have our icebreaker. It's time to raise your voice. Don't worry, it's nothing too daunting. I'll just go around to a couple of you and to a few of you, see who we've got on the call tonight, as we do have learners all around the globe. So it's nice to know who we've got on the call. And then we'll be getting to know our expert facilitator tonight. And he is new here, so that's exciting. Then we're going to be leading the session on unleashing your pathway to mastering modern project management with AgilePM, and how AgilePM can boost your career. And then we'll look at our expert's view on selecting a proper learning platform that will benefit you. Then we will be going on to our question and answer session with our expert facilitator. So yeah, make sure you have your questions prepared, make use of everyone whilst we are here live, and then we'll sort of reveal some discounts. So hopefully you can stay to the end tonight, guys. Oh, and just to say, this webinar is being recorded, so if you do have to pop off for any reason, that's fine, but hopefully you can stay to the end. And if it's just basically for your learning, so if you want to refer back to anything, then we will be sending this out to you via email shortly after the webinar. So that is what we have on for tonight, everyone. And we are here till 7 p.m. So our new facilitator tonight is the lovely Franklin Tholahan. He's an Agile PM trainer, and he is a seasoned professional with extensive experience in directing multi-million-pound projects and delivering excellent business value. So he's got a proven track record of delivering projects on time, within budget, and ensuring that all benefits are realised. So you're going to be in good hands tonight. He's got an innate ability to mentor and train individuals and to really help them reach their full potential, and that's what we're all about here at Global Edulink as well. And for several years he's provided, look, as you can see, a load of different trainings like Prince 2, Scrum, Prince 2 Agile, Lean Six Sigma, and loads more. And then he's always enthusiastic about engaging with individuals on their project management journey. So you're definitely in the right place this evening, and he will be sharing his knowledge and experience with them also, and leading our workshop tonight. So before we get on to the main bulk bulk of the presentation, we will just do our quick icebreaker. So what we like to do for this is just sort of go around to a few of you, see who we've got on the call. So you can introduce yourself by saying your name, where you're joining us from. I'm in sunny South London at the moment. It's actually been a really lovely day today. And just maybe where you're at in terms of Agile or project management, anything that you've done so far, anything that you're comfortable with sharing. And then sometimes we can tailor little bits throughout the rest of the presentation. So yeah, it'll be great if you want to take yourself off mute. I'll come around to a few of you and yeah, just get a little chat going and we can see who we've got. So I will go round to and you should have mic access as well. So Paulina Ward, are you there? Would you like to introduce yourself? Also, if you can't speak, because I know sometimes people are, well, they might be on the train or something, I don't know, and tuning in, that's fine. You can also type in the chat and introduce yourself that way if you want. But I don't know, maybe Paulina's not there. Or I've seen something come in a chat. Oh, Aman from Sheffield. Oh, nice. Doing practitioner in Prince 2, curious about Agile. Nice. Okay, thanks, Aman. Thanks for introducing yourself there. Oh no, I've just closed my thing. Sorry, I'm just seeing who else we've got on the call. I'll just go around to a couple of you. Is anyone feeling confident to talk? Let me see who else. Ola, are you there? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi guys. Hi, hello. My name is Ola Kusaya. My background is compliance. I work as an AML and KYC analyst at QC. That's my jurisdiction. That's what I've been doing before. Just looking to upskill myself again in Agile.
Okay, great. Thanks for that introduction there, Ola. Nice to meet you. Okay. Amari, are you there? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Amari Morning-Vaughan. I did Prince 2 many years ago and just want to get back into some PMO roles. So I thought I'd upgrade to Agile, Prince 2 Agile. So hence why I'm listening to what's happening this evening.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you, Amari. And I've just seen Paulina on message. You are joining from holiday. Okay, great. Working in the UK. Oh, that's nice. You're joining from holiday. Dedicated. Love it. Hope you're having a good holiday. But okay, thanks everyone for those introductions. Yeah, feel free to message if I didn't get around to either. So now I'm going to be handing over to Franklin and he'll be going through Unleashing Your Pathway to Mastering Modern Project Management with Agile PM. So Franklin, you should be able to move the slides as you wish.
Let me just see.
Let me know.
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
Okay, welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Natalie has done a wonderful job introducing me and saying all the wonderful things I do. Unleashing Your Pathway to Agile, many years ago, many years ago, I think I always tell people that the gateway drug to project management is Prince 2. But over the years, a lot of people have started to think about Agile. I mean, it offers many things that is very attractive to organization. When I consult with organization, one of the things they often think about is, well, it's fixed cost, right? So it means that my price won't go up. It's fixed time. It means that we get everything on deadline day. And of course, we get benefit out of it. What we're going to look at today is to try and understand what Agile is and to separate the myth from the reality of it and to see how you can progress further with your Agile project management career. All right, let's go on. Yeah, this is a foundation level. The key things that we'll be learning today is we'll try to understand the philosophies and principle that underpins Agile itself. We won't be able to go through the life cycle of the Agile project, but I might explain in a little bit in later courses. Of course, at some point, we're going to talk about a different type of product. Agile is a very, it's not a small course in itself. And of course, today we're going to look at, in particular, roles and responsibilities within the Agile project management. So, why Agile PM? As I began, first of all, empowerment through experience. The idea behind Agile is that the people who do the work get to make the key decisions around it. It unleashes your agility, as the word says. It means that you're able to change and move to circumstances, things adapt. You're able to adapt quicker. In many organizations, the traditional waterfall method of let's plan everything, let's think about what we're going to do, and then let's do it doesn't work. The industry is moving faster than we can keep up with, and Agile kind of helps us bridge that gap. And of course, one thing we do know about Agile is it's all about collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. And of course, at the end of it, we often have something that is useful and that meets the benefit of the clients and the people who are going to use it. So the benefit of Agile PM for your professional career. Of course, if you understand Agile and you're able to apply it to your organization, you see massive improvement. Of course, you need to configure the life cycle of Agile to your own given scenario. One of the key things about Agile is its adaptability, is the fact that you can tailor it. So unlike the traditional waterfall, whereby you often have things that's very, very heavy earlier on, in Agile, you're able to kind of scale things as you gradually go through that. The aim, of course, is to try and understand the assigned role and responsibilities. We don't have job titles and projects, but the roles have their own key responsibilities that we need to follow. There are several types of mechanisms that we use to govern Agile projects, which we'll have a look at. And of course, we need to, of course, in Agile, the way we estimate is slightly different from Waterfall. And those are some of the things we'll talk about as we, in perhaps later lecture. Of course, we'll be able to describe and apply Agile approach to managing requirements, again, in later details. So why should you do this? If you are a practicing project manager, let's say you are from a waterfall like Prince2, APM, and you want to just understand what the other side is like. What's the difference between, let's say, Prince2 and Agile, and how you can incorporate Agile within your project? This will be very good for you. If you're Agile team member, looking to become an Agile project manager, you want to kind of understand, okay, what's the difference? How do I scale up? Then this is a good course for you as well. And of course, if you want to pursue your Prince2 Agile practitioner, sorry, I love my Prince2. I do love my Agile as well. If you want to pursue your Agile PM practitioner certificate, this is a very good start as well to go ahead. So at some point, I would imagine that you would want to go on and do your certification either with the foundation or the practitioner. But let me focus on the foundation exam. The foundation exam is basically, you have 50 questions in total. You need to get 25 to pass it, which is 50%. It's basic question. You have one question, 4 possible answers, and you need to basically pick one answer that is correct out of it. So it's a 40 minutes exam and it's closed book. So it's only whatever you have in your mind that you can take ahead into the exam. So let's have the project management revolution. I'm going to go into the history of how Agile came into being. But as we can see, that a lot of organizations are moving from the traditional project management approach into Agile approach. And some of those who are staying in the traditional project management approach are still incorporating Agile elements as well, with things like Prince2 Agile being one of the favorites or the most common. So let's start. What is Agile? The first thing that when people think of Agile, they think of one methodology. The fact is, Agile developed in silo with multiple different organizations doing something different. Agile developed as a response to a problem, in particular, development problem. Essentially, imagine that you're building a new software. You planned everything to the T, you then build it, but by the time you deliver it to the market, the opportunity has already gone. So things have moved on, your clients has found better things to do, so it's no longer fit for purpose. So the idea of Agile, or this group of people who before it became Agile was known as RAD, which is Rapid Application Development, all came together trying to find out a way to basically augment the current methodology they're using. So when we talk about Agile, we're not talking about one methodology. We're talking about a series of methodologies who all behave in a similar way. I sort of think of it, let me use the context of religion. Think of it as Christianity. And Although as a Christian, there are certain things that you hold dear, but there are also different branches of Christianity, from Methodists to Anglicans to Catholics to Protestant, and they all do things slightly differently, but they still have some core concepts that they believe in. It's the same with Agile. When an organization say we're doing Agile, one of the first questions I often ask is, which Agile are you doing? It could be Scrum, it could be Adaptive, it could be Kanban, it could be SAFe, it could be the SDM. So there are many different types of Agile. But in order for you to say you're an Agile organization, basically you need to at least comply with this 4 thing. So Agile is a generic description of a style of working that comprises flexibility. One of the key things is we need to be able to change as requirements and circumstances demand. So we need an Agile as an organization that will allow you to incorporate new changes. Another thing is working closely with the customer throughout. In order for us to guarantee that what we are building at the start is going to meet the needs of the customer at the end, we need to bring the customer along. Imagine that you only spoke to me at the start, and then you went away and did all the work without consulting me, and at the end you said this is what you wanted at the start. My requirements may have changed. So the idea behind Agile is at each point, we keep asking the customers, we go through this point, is this still what you want? Has there been any changes? Because if there's any change, our methodology allow us to implement that because we are flexible. We can incorporate that. So we're going to be working with the customer throughout so that if there's any change they want to implement, they can tell us. The aim of that is to ensure that the final solution, whatever we give them, this lovely piece of work, actually meets the business needs. It's not just about what you told me, but what you got at the end actually meets what you want it to do. And of course, in order to be able to incorporate flexibility, to work closely with customer throughout, to ensure the final solution meets the final solution actually meets the business needs, we need to be willing to defer decisions about details until the last responsible moment. Now, that doesn't mean that in Agile we don't plan. It just means that there are certain things that even if at the start we're talking with a customer, and the customer wants to tell us every single thing about what they want this product to do, we might tell them that based on our planning horizon, yes, I know this is where we're going, and I have a rudimentary understanding of how we're going to get there. But for now, I only want to focus on the details of the first increment. Yes, I know the objective of the second and third increment, but don't tell me too much about that, because if you tell me too much about that, then it will make flexibility difficult. Just let's focus on this so that if there's any changes here, I can easily incorporate it without having to do too much changes. So in order for an organization to say they're an Agile organization, they need to be able to say that, yes, we incorporate flexibility because we can make changes throughout. We put customer first and throughout the whole process. So there is customer-led, customer focus. We will ensure that whatever it is you get at the end actually meets your needs. So it is what you need for the business. And of course, we will defer details until last responsible moment. Don't worry about the things that we don't need to know yet. When we need it, we will ask you. So those are basically the definition of Agile, essentially. Now, another thing that people often, which I sort of mentioned about, as I said, Agile is not one methodology. So that's quite important. Not one methodology. It's basically a series of methodology that share similar ideology. but they still have their own differences in practices and techniques. But Agile can be broadly divided into two main camps. We have project management methodology. By the way, my handwriting is atrocious, but my mother says because I'm smart, so forgive me. And then we have what we call product delivery methodologies. The difference is that some people who might not be very familiar with Agile might try one type of Agile, and on the basis of that, determine that Agile is not good for big projects. The project management methodologies are Agile methodologies that are designed to manage a project. So when we talk about that, we're talking about from pre-project, dreaming about it, to post-project, getting your benefits. These are much bigger Agile, and they do have a lot more documentations than your product delivery methodologies. Your product delivery methodologies are designed to build, not necessarily to manage the overhead within the methodology. An example of that is your Scrum, where you're working in sprints, but a lot of the other work is being carried out elsewhere. Whereas in Agile, DSDM, you have everything from feasibility to foundation, all the way to your evolutionary development, which is basically your sprints. So if you want to do a project and you want to manage everything from start to finish, then you're going to need something like this. DSDM stands for Dynamic System Development Methodology, and SAFe stands for Scaled Agile Framework. You're going to need either one of these. These are the big boys of Agile. If you just want to build something whereby the vision is clear already, they tell you this is what they want, but they want you to work it in Agile, to iterate it in Agile, then things like Scrum, Kanban, Lean, Extreme Programming, Adaptive, those can come in. But if you try to run a full project head-on using something like Scrum, you're going to find that quite a lot of documentations and width is missing. But that doesn't mean that Scrum is bad. It just means that you're using it for the wrong thing. Think of Scrum as a bicycle. It's good at what it does, but think of DSDM as a car. It's great at what it does. If you want to travel long distance from London to Manchester, you need a car. If you want to basically go around the corner and, your neighborhood, then, your bicycle will do quite nicely. So just to iterate, basically, if you're doing projects, stick to this. If you're not involved in the overall vision, decision making, you're just being told to build in your team and said, look, this is what you need to do, then this will serve you quite nicely. So, what's the difference, essentially, between your Agile and Waterfall? Waterfall methodologies are your traditional methodologies. So those include things like Prince2, your APM, your PMP. Those are your Waterfall methodologies. And of course, your Agile in particular are the ones we just seen recently, your Scrum, Adaptive, and so on. What's the difference in there? Essentially, Waterfall is not a bad methodology. I still use it. I still have clients who still insist that they do want to use Prince2, and that's absolutely okay. No problem with that. Essentially, the difference is as follows. In Waterfall, with your client, you agree what you need to deliver in advance. So 100% of the scope. This is what I want. This is what I'm paying for. Now, the problem is, as with life, nothing is perfect. So if you want me to deliver everything you've asked for, and we agree in terms of, let's say it's going to take 6 months to do, and it's going to cost you, let's say, 100,000. And in return, you get everything you want. If things happen, let's say there was a delay, something didn't go right, because the client still insists that they want 100% of everything they wanted, then you're going to have to compromise on something. To give you an example, I'm sure you guys have heard of HS2. In terms of time, the government has had to compromise. In terms of cost, the government has had to compromise in order to maintain its vision. So in traditional project management, the reason why we have those cost and time overrun is because in order for us to give you everything you want, we need things that we can flex. And the things that we want to flex is the customer doesn't want to compromise any of what they want, so we're able to flex the time and the cost. And if you don't have any of those two to flex, then that will impact on your quality. Let's say you ran out of money while building your house, then you might decide to chip out in the garden. And it's, everything just looks terrible. Now, what Agile has done is basically, they haven't reinvented project management. They've basically changed the focus. If we use the same example, Agile agrees with the client a fixed time frame, 6 months, let's say, for example. Whatever happens, ready or not, here I come. In 6 months, you will have your product ready to use. That won't change. Agile also agrees with the client that, of course, in 6 months' time, at the agreed 100,000 that we've agreed, I will not charge you any more than that. So the cost doesn't increase. And I will guarantee you a quality. You will have a minimum usable subset. So something that you can actually use and still be happy. But in return, in terms of your feature, that's what we're going to vary. You may not get everything you ask for. So you may not get everything you want, but you will get more than you need. In order for us to vary this feature, in Agile, we often use a methodology called Moscow. And without Moscow, Agile doesn't work. So Moscow is one of the key techniques of Agile. The M stands for must-haves. The must-haves are your minimum usable subset, the absolute minimum. So things like safety, something you need for legal reason, for safety reason, for it to work. So without the minimum usable subset, basically your project wouldn't work. This, we attribute that of all 100% of your requirements, it will not exceed 60% of the value. So you will not have more than 60% of the value of your requirement as a must-haves. But if you were to achieve this 60%, it means that your project will still work. I'm sure some of you might be familiar with the Pareto rule, the 80-20 rule, where 20% of the work is actually responsible for 80% of the benefits. The O is just there to make it sound cool. The second thing is your should-haves. Your should-haves are your painful to live out. As in, if you didn't get those requirements, you will certainly miss them. So for example, what's a painful to live out in my house? If I didn't have a driveway, I will certainly miss it. So that will be a painful to live out not to have in my house. And of course, your C is your could-haves. And your could-haves are your luxuries. Things that, well, If it wasn't there, it wouldn't really ruin the project, but it would certainly make your life a lot sweeter. What's the luxury in my house? Maybe my PS4, something like that. But those are your could have. But your could have would not exceed 20%. So at least minimum of 20% rather. So minimum 20% could haves. And your W's are your won't have this time. So won't have this time is things that are out of scope. Basically, you don't need them. Like I said in Agile earlier on, working with the customer closely and throughout. The way we start all this requirement is all of the requirement, let's say we put them in this little box. Let's say there are 100 in total. We start everything as a won't have this time, which is out of scope. It is then the customer who needs to justify to us what are the musts, what are the shoulds, and what are the coulds. Bearing in mind that the must not exceed 60%, and the coulds must be at least 20%. So going back to our lovely diagram over here, once we've sorted out all those requirements, in the event whereby we need more time, more money, we won't go to the customer to say, add 1 more month to this or give me 10,000. We will just start dropping the requirements, starting with the codes. So you are guaranteed in Agile, based on the fixed time and cost, that you're going to get all your must-haves. We're going to really try to give you all your should-haves. We're going to do our very best to give you your should-haves. But your could-haves, those luxuries, those are the tolerances. Those are the things we will trade in return for the time and costs. So it's more about what the customer is comfortable with. And the reality is, of all the times we've done this with a client and we've broken everything down to won't haves, we always find that some of the things that the customers actually say, I must have that, is definitely a must. When you tell them to justify it, you often find that most of them are not. And when I ask a client, so you're telling me that if we did not, if I tell you that requirement A, which you're telling me is definitely must be there, is not completed, and we're 3 days to the end of the project, are you going to tell me, Franklin, that's it, cancel everything, we can't go forward, this is not going to work? So this is the main thing that Agile does. We, instead of, when it comes to, or compared to Waterfall, we are willing to flex the features in order to protect your time, your cost, and your quality. Just a little bit of history on Agile, basically. As you can see here, the Agile Manifesto, people sat around in early 2000 from different methodologies. And what they wanted to do was to, let me just go back to a couple of slides, was to codify this thinking, this way of thinking into something that all Agile methodology can come together and all agree that this is the way we're going to be working. So they all came together and they agreed on this Agile Manifesto. So they said, first of all, it's a manifesto for Agile software development. We're uncovering better way of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work, we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Now, let me explain this. It doesn't mean that Agiles don't have processes or Agiles don't have tools. We do, and you'll be familiar with that once you go through the course, once you go through the your books. But we believe that without people and them working together collaboratively, that wouldn't really work. You need the people. So without individuals and their interaction, daily stand-up and all those things, Agile doesn't really work. We prefer working software over comprehensive documentation. Now, this is where some people also get Agile wrong in thinking that Agile doesn't have documentations. Yes, we do have documentation, but we do not want to compromise building something that works over documentation. What Agile says about documentation is the documentation must have a purpose. That is to say, if you do not know why you're writing it, who's going to read it, what it's for, then don't write it. The purpose of the documentation is to help with the development of the work itself, not documentation for the sake of documentation. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Again, it doesn't mean that Agiles don't have contracts. Of course, by all means, before you start any work, have an agreed contract in place. What Agile is saying is it's not an idea of the customer pays, so customer gives money and then disappears. The flexibility will not work if the customer is not willing to collaborate and work with us throughout. So it's not just about the money, because the customer is the one who's going to promote an active vision. So the customer must come along for the ride. And finally, responding to change over following a plan. This is another way where people also, sometimes misunderstand Agile, thinking that Agile don't have a plan. That's wrong. We do have plans. And as you will discover, we have a project plan, especially if you're doing Agile PM. So the project plan is your long-term plan that looks at the project from start to finish. That project plan is divided into increments. So we do have increment plans. So increment plan is like your mid-level plan that looks at one particular increment consisting of time boxes and deployment. And then we have a time box plan, which is your detailed plan. Also in Scrum, you hear things like sprint planning, the same thing. So time box plan. And this is your detailed plan. So in Agile, we do plan, but the aim of the plan is not to confine change. The plan is to aid change. If your plan is so detailed that it means changes in increment 2 is not possible, then you're not doing Agile. So all these great men from representing different Agile families like Geoff Sunderland from Scrum, Alistair Cockburn from Adaptive, and so on, all signed these documents that this is what Agile is. This is the codification of our ideas. So if you're going to do Agile, you need to follow the 8 principles, and this 8 principles from DSDN. The first one is focus on business needs. The idea behind this is you need to understand what it is that must be delivered for this project to be successful. So things like your minimum usable subset, making sure you talk with the client, deliver on time. Remember, as we stated earlier on, time is fixed. You will never get more time in Agile. If you need to change anything, we will rather vary features. We drop requirements, not extend time. Collaborate. You need to work together as one group. Everybody working towards the same aim. Never compromise on quality. Quality is fixed. And quality is fit for purpose. And as you probably know, doing Agile doesn't mean you get terrible quality. That's a myth. Dropping features doesn't mean that at the end you have low quality. Build incrementally from firm foundation. First of all, you need to have a good, a project plan. So you need to understand your start and your finish at a high level. And then you need to understand your increment plan based on that. And then you need to understand your time box plan based on that. So you build incrementally, having understood the start and finish of it. Develop iteratively. So with Agile, we basically do each iteration takes you closer to your final destination. The idea is we don't have to know it all at the start, because for example, I could deliver something, so do the box, show it to the client, and then the client goes, I'm not really feeling that. And then that will mean we change. We go through this by saying conversation. That's how we do iterative development. Conversation, thought, action, conversation. Essentially, when we start with the client, we discuss, okay, what's the outcome that we want from this? Based on that discussion we have with the client, the team will get together and think of a way to develop it to get to that outcome. After they've come up with a plan, they will do it. After they've done it, they will show it to the client again to say, okay, this is what we've got. Do you want to make any changes? Because based on what we've discovered, the client might find out that there are certain things they weren't thinking about before, but actually they will rather do differently now. Communicate continuously and clearly. We have things like daily stand-up. We have team boards as a way in which we're always constantly talking with each other. And of course, demonstrate control. It is important to show the clients how the work is going. So if they want to come and look at your burn down chat, let them feel free to. If they want to look at your team board, show them. Let them see how the work is progressing. We hide nothing. We operate with open palm. Those are the 8 principles you need to keep in mind. Bear in mind that in order for you to do Agile successfully, all this must be applied. You cannot drop any. Focus on the business needs, deliver on time, collaborate, never compromise on quality, build incrementally from firm foundation, develop iteratively, communicate continuously and clearly, and of course, demonstrate control. So, in terms of instrumental success factor to Agile, these are the things that if you wanted to implement Agile within your organization, these are the things you need to keep in mind. First of all, embrace the DSDM approach. That includes things like the tools, that includes the principles, the ideas behind it. Effective solution development team. Solution development team is the name that the Agile PM uses for the Scrum team that exists within Scrum. But in order for that team to be effective, they need to be empowered. That means that, for example, within that solution development team, they can descope a could-have requirement without having to go to the project level roles. They need stability so that they can get to learn from each other and at least work well together over time. They need to have appropriate skills, so making sure there's appropriate solution testers, solution developers within the team, and you have the ideal size. Bear in mind that this team will need to do a daily stand-up on a daily basis. And the ideal size that Agile mentioned is 7 ± 2, so between 5 and 9. Any bigger than that, you can have multiple solution development team working in parallel with each other. But each team shouldn't exceed more than 9 people. Business engagement, active and ongoing, you need this all the way through. As I said, without the business having an input, we can't really get something that is fit for purpose. We will expect that you use your iterative development throughout Agile, your integrated testing, because testing should happen as you do your iterative development. And one of the benefits of Agile is this idea of incremental delivery. So, of course, in terms of incremental delivery, rather than waiting until the end, until you get your product, we aim to deliver a subset of it as we go through. So I won't go into this too much, but this is called a project approach questionnaire. Just bear in mind that before you do Agile within your organization, these are a list of questionnaire that you should conduct at the start of your project. And basically you go from strongly agree, neutral, and so on. And the idea is, yeah, I'm saying it. And the idea is, of course, to see whether or not you are ready. So whether you're ready to do Agile, any other things, then of course, if you fail certain areas of it, it will tell you things you need to do to get to Agile ready. So I will just round up with this roles and responsibilities. This lovely diagram that you can see before me is called the alien baby. I quite like it. Or the snowman diagram, but I prefer the alien baby. Essentially, these are all the roles that you can see in Agile. And they can be, you can see that they're color-coded as well, and for good reasons. You've got your orange ones, those are your business interests. Those represent the organization. You have the green people. Those are your solution and technical interests. Those are the people who will do the work. And of course, you have your blue people, and those are your management interests. Those are the one who will run the project. And of course, your gray people, those are your process interests. And those are the people who will help you with things relating to Agile processes, such as DSDM coach and workshop facilitator. Again, if you were to decapitate this lovely alien baby, you'll see that they're broken up into 3 different areas. The head of the alien baby, that's your project level role. And the aim of the project level role is like your project board. They will direct, they will manage, and they will coordinate at a high level. Your solution development team, that's the belly of the beast. The aim, of course, is to do the work. That's your engine room. And you can think of them as your Scrum team. Those are the people who will be within the time box, the Scrum, the sprints, doing the work. And your supporting roles are the people who provide ad hoc advice on a day-to-day basis. So as you need be. So you just call them in as experts and guiding. Just to give you a broad overview of what they do. You have your business sponsor. That's your money guy. So he's responsible for funding, ultimate say on the project. Your business visionary is the one who will set the ultimate vision and high-level requirements for the project. Is the only one who can descope a must-have. Your technical coordinator is the one who will design the technical architecture for the project and high-level testing. The project manager is the one who will run the project at a high level. The team leader is the one who will, basically also known as the Scrum Master, who will run the project, run this Scrum or the time box on a day-to-day basis. Your business ambassador is will provide you with low-level requirements. They represent the business visionary within the time box itself. So this is the person who will provide you with daily information from the business. Your solution developer, they will do the work. And of course, your solution tester will do the testing. So there must be independent testing. So whoever does the work doesn't test the work. You have your business analyst. That's the person who will gather requirements and help with prioritization. Your workshop facilitator will help you, will help the team come together to make decisions. They help facilitate decision making. And the DSDM coach will make sure that they all comply with Agile. that's sort of like a broad overview of that. I'm well aware that I'm already taking some more of my time than I should. So on that note, I would invite Natalie to jump in.
Okay. Right, I am back. Yes, guys, because we don't want to, overrun too much. I'm sure some of you might not have had dinner yet or something. Okay, so if you have any questions, guys, at this point, yeah, thank you for all of that information as well, Franklin. I love the little annotations. It's nice to have a little visual workings going on. But yes, does anyone have any questions at this point? If you do, please pop them in the Q&A, or if you want to raise your hand and come off mute and ask that way, because I know sometimes it's easier to ask questions that way. Yes, let me know. No questions at the moment. Maybe people are typing. But yes, I know sometimes it's a lot of information to take in, but that's why we record it, and then we can send it to you and you guys can sort of go back, maybe make some more notes and things like that. If you don't have any questions at the moment, no worries if you don't. Maybe we could move on to you, Shallow, and then if you guys have questions as Shallow's talking about stuff that Franklin just went over or stuff that Shallow's talking, she can answer. What do you think, Shallow?
That's perfect. We can still have a quick question round at the end of it.
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to quickly take over. Natalie, is that okay?
Yes, thank you. So yes, here is our course advisor, Shallow Rebel, everyone. I'll hand over to her now.
Hi, everyone. Very good evening, and thank you very much for joining us in this introduction to Agile PM session. Thank you for that, Franklin. It was quite interesting to see all the annotations, definitely. So what I'm going to do is not taking too much of your time. I'm going to quickly run you through Global Edulink, the presenter for this session, and what we have on offer for you with our Agile Project Management course at Global Edulink. So my name is Shallow Rebel. I'm one of the course advisors, and if you've ever spoken to Global Edulink before, you'd ever spoken to either me or one of my team members. So it's definitely lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for joining us. So first things first then, just a quick overview about Global Edulink, who we are. We are an authorized training organization in the UK. We work with several reputed awarding organizations, such as the APMG International, PeopleSet, BSMB Tech, ATHE, CIPD, and many more. So we have over 1,000 courses on our learning platform. So I'm just going to move Natalie's slide so I can put this over. Yeah, so that's Global Edulink there for you. So we have over 1,000 courses on our learning platform, and these range from project management, IT services, business management, healthcare, HR. There's also several hobby-related courses as well. So you can look through our website at globaledulink.co.uk. So of course, yes, we have a learner pool of over 500,000 learners and 150 experienced tutors that we work with, as we've been doing for over a decade now. So it's been 10 years since we've been providing education services here in the UK. So that's just a bit about us, and I'm sure you can also go through and read several information on our website and our YouTube channel, and just take a sneak peek at all our tutors, trainers providing webinars and live sessions for you there. So just want to quickly then run through about the Agile PM, which is our focus for this evening then. So what do we have for you in terms of the Agile project management or APMG International courses that we offer here? So why you choose us? Definitely there is a few things that we wanted to run through on an expert learning platform. So we provide you convenience, flexibility, as well as 100% blended learning approach as well. So with our courses, you are getting the 12 months unlimited access to all our course materials. These include video lessons as well as lecture notes. There's also plenty of practice materials available for you for the exams, so which will be the mock exams that we provide, and also their mini assessments, and also exam papers, question and answers. So apart from this, since I also mentioned about a blended learning approach, we conduct monthly live online sessions for exam preparation. Just like today's session, you will sit with our tutor who will take you through a mock exam paper, and we'll discuss the question and answers, any doubts that you have. So this gives you an overall a round-up approach, so you're not just left alone with your self-study materials. So also want to remind you that since I mentioned 12 months access, you're also getting your exam voucher, which is 1 year validity. So you are able to book your exam in that 12-month period whenever you feel you're ready. So that's the added advantage there. So having said that, so I'm just going to quickly also let you know that the most important thing about choosing a learning platform is you've got to look for learner reviews, and that's definitely something that we encourage at Global Edulink. You can visit our Trustpilot ratings there. So we have a very proud 4.8 out of 5, and these are from about 1,000 current learners who have provided us reviews, especially for project management courses, IT service management, because that's where we excel. So go through the Trustpilot website as well to see our learner reviews there. So having provided all this information, we are proud to say that you will get 100% support from us at Global Edulink for your project management courses. I know some of you are already studying with us for the Prince 2 course, and I'm sure you would have seen several materials that's been provided there. So what do we have for you then today? So thank you for attending. We do have some discounts on our AgilePM Foundation and Practitioner course. I will reveal that in a little while, just about the next slide there. So again, yes, and of course we want to give you affordable monthly plans as well with our courses. So if you decide to enroll, and when you decide to enroll, just get to us, and then we will provide you several options that you can choose from. Again, this is to help you kickstart your process with this year. I mean, we are at August now, so just a few months left for you to get all your goals and plans achieved, so that next year you start with something fresh. So yeah, that's about it on the slides front. So that's a quick description overview from me. We do have a little sneak peek here of a video, but I'm just not going to play that. What I will do is we will share a demo to all of our participants today. So there will be an email that will come from my team. We'll share a sneak peek, a demo for you. It also includes the course brochures and any other information that we may not have covered in the session. We will try to give that to you in our email. So just don't want to take a lot of your time, but just have to do a drum roll and reveal the accounts that we have. So if you decide to start the course, of course, in the month of August, you can certainly make use of a 43% or more of our discounts on our Agile Project Management Foundation and Practitioner courses. So that's the discount there. So there are codes also been displayed on the slide for you. So we're giving the foundation course with exam, with all the support that I mentioned, with a price lock guarantee, so you don't have to pay anything extra once you enroll. So everything that I spoke about, your access, your exam preparation, webinar, the exam 1-year validity, the mock exams, all of that comes for $370 on the foundation certification. And then for the practitioner, you're paying £475, and that's again, all inclusive. So once you enroll, your price is locked. You don't have to pay anything until you take your exam in this period of 12 months. Right. So that's just about it from me. So again, I just want to make sure I'm putting everything across to you and not taking too much of your time. But we can now open the floor for any questions, either about the course platform, about Global Edulink, or about AgilePM. We'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Shallow. Thank you for that information as well. And yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please do let me know. If you don't have any, maybe just put a thumbs up in the chat or something, and then we know we can sort of round off. But I don't want to make anyone feel rushed that, they can't ask a question because you've come here live and you've dedicated your time. So thank you for that. But yeah, if you don't have any questions, just put no or like a thumbs up or something, just so we know, and then we can wrap up the webinar.
Oh, that's a thumbs up from Paulina. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. No, not from me for now. Okay, great. And as I said, we will be sending this to you guys anyway. We can send you the actual live recording and probably the PowerPoint as well, because I know we had to skip through some parts. But yes, hopefully you guys found tonight useful. There was a lot of information, which is always good. But it doesn't look like we have any questions at the moment. So yes, thank you once again for joining tonight. Here is our email address and our website if you want to check out some more things. Hopefully you make use of those discounts for joining tonight, and can get cracking with the stuff that you need to do. But yeah, hopefully you found it helpful and extracted a lot of information tonight. But thank you for joining, and hopefully we see you on another webinar soon. And yeah, keep us updated with your progress and everything. And if you have any questions, just email them in afterwards as well, or give us a call. So yeah, that's all from me. Do you want to say anything else, Franklin and Shallow?
No, that's perfectly okay. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. And yeah, there's this contact number, so please get in touch. And definitely we're going to send you an email with all the information that you will need. So reply back, raise your questions, we'll get them answered. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
you.
Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And you too. Bye.
Thank you, Ola.